You may not believe this, but there are topics in IB Physics that are more heavily weighted in the final exam. And for that reason, I would say those topics are the most important topics in IB Physics. And today, we're going to find out which topics will make the biggest difference to your exam score. And by that I mean, which topics should you prioritise when you're revising towards your final exams? So why would you prioritise key topics? Have you ever heard of the Pareto principle? It basically says you get 80% of results when you focus on 20% of the key concepts. And if I tell you what the key concepts are today, and you focus on them, first thing you'll notice is that you'll save time and reduce stress when you're revising. But the second thing you'll notice is your exam scores will start to improve. So that's what I mean when I talk about studying strategically. We want you to focus on the most heavily weighted exam topics to make sure you're maximising results and minimising your effort. We want to be really efficient. And I talk about strategic study a lot. And I guess you're going to ask, does this strategy work? Does it work if you study strategically? By the way, yes, this strategy works. Then head to Trustpilot. Trustpilot is full of reviews there telling you exactly how my strategic work and how my strategic plan for you helps you ace your IB Physics exams. I won't keep you any longer. Let's see what this strategy is. We're going to start with standard level. And what we have here is a graph. You can see along the bottom we have the themes. Theme A, which is space-time and motion, B, C, D, E, and finally the scientific investigation. On the y-axis, we have the percentage of weighting that those topics incorporate in the whole IB Physics syllabus. This analysis really comes from how many teaching hours are assigned to each topic by the examiner. So I've worked it out, and as you can see, Theme A, Space, Time and Motion, has a higher percentage weighting than the other themes. So Theme A is a key theme that you'd want to revise for your physics exams, and particularly forces and momentum, which is topic A2. If you head all along, you'll see that C5, Doppler effect, is quite low down. And head into fields, D2, that's electric and magnetic fields, that's quite highly weighted. And finally into the nuclear and quantum physics in theme E, you're looking at E3, which is radioactive decay, E5, which is stars and fusion. These topics I would prioritise revision above other topics. You'll notice that the scientific investigation is worth 20% of the marks, and that is a task that you can easily prioritise as you work through the IB Physics course. Let's head to the higher level now. The higher level is slightly different because there are more topics, so that means that each topic will be weighted slightly less. The pattern shows that space, time and motion is relatively heavily weighted in comparison to the other themes, so you'd want to make sure you have a decent understanding of that whole theme. And again, A2, forces and motion, seems to have more of a push there. Heading over to theme B and C, C3 seems to be fairly heavily weighted. D, fields, you can see very clearly that gravitation on electric and magnetic fields is weighted quite heavily. And finally, theme E, nuclear and quantum physics, you're looking at E1, E2, E3 being quite heavily weighted. And of course, your scientific investigation is weighted at 20% there as well. So my question to you is, once you know which topics you should prioritise, how are you going to study them to make sure that you are studying strategically and that you are getting that 80% result for 20% of the topics? Okay, well, here's how I would do it, and here's how my students inside Tribe Physics do it. They use a 4-step success path. Step 1 is master the majority. For the purposes of this presentation, I'm going to use the topic A1 kinematics. Step 1 for A1 kinematics would be prioritise the key topics, relearn the content, because you will have learned it in class, you need to relearn that content. And by relearning the content, I'm of course talking about online courses, YouTube, textbooks and so on, to revise the content and then create brief structured revision notes. At this stage, if you're not super comfortable with the content, you'll want to undertake a series of subtopic knowledge questions. For this step, you can easily undertake these action points at home. However, if you need help doing this step, for example, relearning the content, if you need some reliable concept videos, or if you need help writing out this brief structured revision notes, or you need help finding the subtopic knowledge questions, they're all inside Tribe Physics for you. That's where I would teach you the concepts, I would help you write the brief structured revision notes, and I would assign you the subtopic knowledge questions. Let's move on to step 2. What we want to do now is activate the application. We want to apply the concepts into questions. And this is where most students fall down. The way to deal with this is take 3 action points. Action point 1 is to complete a set of past paper questions by topic. Once you've completed those past paper questions by topic, you watch screencasted video solutions. Those screencasted video solutions should be by an expert who can teach you the answers and explain as they go along. And action tip 3 is get exam tips per topic. Each topic has specific tips or specific intricacies that you can learn to make sure that you always answer each topic's past paper questions with ease. And again, you can do this at home without the help of Tribe Physics. But if you need more help, inside Tribe Physics, we have a huge vault of past paper questions by topic. And then, of course, I screencast those video solutions for you. So you try them out first, you find out what you need help with, and watch my screencast video solutions. And because I've been teaching IB Physics since 2004, I have a huge bank of exam tips for each topic that will speed up and maximise your marks in these exams. Step 3. Once you've completed your past paper questions by topic and you've watched the screencast solutions, you might still have areas in that topic that you're unsure of. And I'm going to call them weaknesses because I know nobody likes that word, but they are the weak points of that topic for you. Those weak points might be in concept knowledge or they might be in exam technique. And that's where my magic marking grid comes in. My magic marking grid is a simple tick box exercise that allows you to find out exactly what concepts you're still weak in and exactly what exam techniques you're still weak in for A1 kinematics or for that particular topic. And what we do inside Propel Your Progress is we laser focus on those weaknesses. So step 3 is about propelling your progress from where you were to where you want to be. And step 4 is get the grade. So this is not topic specific. This is about once you've got all your topic knowledge and you've done steps 1 to 3 for each topic, we're now looking at accelerating it to get the grade. First thing we want to do is maximise your scientific investigation. We want to get those 20% worth of grades and we want to maximise the mark in that. So inside Tribe Physics, what we have is a step-by-step video course, and it takes you through every single thing you should write down in your scientific investigation. It's literally like sitting over my shoulder while I write a scientific investigation from scratch, and I tell you exactly what to write and when to make sure you hit all the marks on the mark scheme for that. A personalised study table. You want to have a timetable as you approach exams that is relevant to you, that allows you to study all the other subjects, that allows you to have a life, that allows you to sleep, but also makes sure that you are maximising your revision time. So inside Tribe Physics, we have that personalised study timetable that will help you make sure that you're maximising your revision time to your schedule. So if you tell me that you've got your granny's birthday on Sunday the 24th of March, that's all taken into account, okay? We have a personalised study timetable in there for you. Mock exams. I know you'll do mock exams in school, but you want to do an extra mock exam under your own steam, because what that allows you to do is identify really where your grade sits at before the final exam and what you have to do. So obviously we take the mock exam very seriously inside Tribe Physics, and there's an unseen mock exam in there for you. And finally, exam command word training. The examiners are going to ask you questions. In fact, they've told us that 50% of the questions inside of the exam are going to be hard. They're going to be questions like explain. They're going to be questions like discuss. And those questions are difficult to answer. So inside step 4, get the grade, we are looking at how to answer each type of question. And luckily, the examiners have told us they will only use a set of, I think it's something like 12 exam command words. So for each exam command, I show you exactly how to answer that question. Again, if you were not part of Tribe and you were doing this on your own, you can, without my help, maximise your scientific investigation, make your own study timetable, find a mock exam, spend time working on each command word. You can do all that without joining Tribe Physics. But Tribe Physics is everything you need to do it for you. It basically speeds up and maximises your exam preparation, and that's what it's all about. It's about studying strategically so that you put 20% of effort in to get 80% of the results. Now, if you want to join me in Tribe Physics, I'd be delighted to have you. And if not, go back to the graphs, write down which topics are most heavily weighted in the exams, and make sure you maximise your effort and prioritise those topics as you revise towards the final exam. Okay, have a great day. Bye.